All right, so we are back with the S197, and in today's video, we're actually going to be pulling the stock K member out, and putting the BMR K member in, as well as pulling the factory manifolds off, putting the On3 turbo manifolds on, and getting everything wrapped up on this turbo kit. So sit tight, relax, and let's get into installing some turbo goodness on the S197.
1, 2, 3!
All right, so last video you saw us kind of clean everything up, and here we got the radiator fan on, all of the wiring running across the new radiator support bar, oil pump gears installed, as well as a few other little goodies. And so this video, like I said, we're gonna be dropping everything down as far as the stock K member goes, and it's on the BMR one that I have over there. So let me put you on time lapse and let's get to that. So I've absolutely been cranking away at this, and it is actually going pretty well here. As you can see, we've gotten everything out. I even pulled the motor mount on this side. I did have to put a block of wood right here to try to kind of support it a little bit, but use a transmission jack. If you don't got one of those, you could probably just use a jack and a jack stand or something up here, and keep everything maintained. Pull this up, bring right on down. But now I got pretty much perfect access to all these header bolts, and I'm gonna go ahead and drop that down right fast. All right, so it is a new day. Yesterday, I actually did end up getting the right-hand side wrapped up, got the manifold off of the stock configuration, and got the new turbo manifold on that is running upwards up there, as you can see. Got everything tightened down, a few bolts here, a few studs, OEM studs and nuts there. So now I'm getting ready to start on the driver's side over here, just kind of snaking it up and through. It is a little difficult. You got to kind of raise and lower the engine, but it's still not too terribly bad. So let's see if we can't get this one up here. Alrighty, so we got both side turbo manifolds installed and all torqued down. Got the driver's side and the passenger side all done. And so the next thing I'm moving on is to these oil pans here. Of course, you got to have somewhere for the turbos to drain back into. And I have this old pan here, which lovely has my 10mm wrench in it. But we're going to actually take this off and replace it with a brand new pan that I got sitting right here. And the reason that I'm doing this is because I'm not actually doing weld-in style, because I have about 3 months for this car to be done and tuned and everything. So it has to go through fab. So we're doing some bolt-in ones. These bulkhead styles are just bolt-in like this. You can see I've got one installed here. The other side I've got to put in. All I'm doing to install these is actually taking this really big drill bit, taking a punching through it, drilling up in sizes. I don't have a step bit. If you have a step bit, I'm sure it would work great. And then I'm keeping a rag, or in this case my tech shirt, down in the pan to keep from getting metal flakes in it. And then after that, I'm just tightening this bolt head fitting up, making sure that it's all cleaned up when you mount it. So I'm using this to clean both sides up, so any burring of the drill bit going through is cleaned up and everything. That way you get a nice flush flat surface for bolting this on. And then you tighten this down pretty good, and then we're gonna drop the pan off of it and get the new one on. All right, so as you can see by the time lapse, we got the new oil pan in. I got everything installed. I kind of got a rough mock-up of where these dash 10 AN lines for the turbo drain is gonna fit. So this one's at like a 90 going this way. Might have to move it now that I got the motor mount back installed. Just want to put that in, kind of line this up, but I might have to change this a little bit. Maybe go to a different fitting. And on this side, because the starter's here, I have a 45 degree. We're definitely gonna have to look at this one because I was planning on running it that way and then running it up and through this line here and then up there to where the turbo drain is going to be. But that's going to take some working. Got this motor mount installed as well, and the ground up here. So now I'm actually going to go ahead and start mocking up everything for the K-member over there, for the BMR tubular one that's right down there, like the power steering, and then control arms, because I got the tubular control arms. Get everything mocked up for that. That way I can go ahead and put the K-member back up into the car. Alrighty, so we got the K-member up and installed into the vehicle, and next I'm actually going to go plumb things for the turbos. So off of this oil pressure sensor here, I'm going to be installing a power by the hour fitting here that I got, and this is to allow it to adapt into there and feed oil to the turbo. So I'm going to go ahead and get this put in. So I'm absolutely not going to lie to you, I got very, very excited, and I actually put everything in for the power by the hour thing, and then ran my turbo feed line because I put a turbo on, and then I decided to start it. And as you can see, I forgot to hook up the drain tube, and if you turbo a car, you want to make sure the oil goes back into the oil pan, especially after you pulled it off and put a fitting on it, and not dump into the floor. So in the 15 seconds that it ran, it probably dumped a quart at least. But oil pressure light didn't come on, and it poured out of that too, so fairly decent. Alright, so the last clip you saw us starting to install the turbo feed and drain lines. I went ahead and got everything pretty much mounted up. Pretty good big skip. I've got a wastegate on this side, and I do have the turbo feed going down to the underside to the power by hour. I'm going to show you that. And then I got this side bolted up, and this line ran underneath the intake manifold down to it. And then I got my turbo drains that I had forgot to put in the last clip. So I got the turbo drains run down there. I'm going to go ahead and look the car up and show you how it looks on the underside. All right, so coming down to the bottom side here, we got the fitting into the power by the hour. I don't know how well you can see, but I got a 3/8 to a 4AN that comes up, and then a 90, and then I split to a T that runs to both feed lines. I'm gonna have to change all this up. It all seeps oil, and I just don't like having all these fittings because that's just more oil leaks that could come. So I'm gonna have to figure out a redesign there. Probably just some kind of 90 that comes out, because it's gotta clear the alternator here and all of these lines here. As you can see, the lines just run up the side of the firewall there, or the frame rail there, up, and then the turbo drain comes down beside the alternator, runs down and around into the back side of the pan here, and just drains down there. Same with the other side. As you can see, it comes down around, loops back up, and then runs to the bottom of this turbo. So that's why I got the turbos mounted up off camera, is so you can see. I got all the drains and everything put up there. All the plumbing's done. I had to spray that off. It leaks, mainly from these lines, and I think that's because I just used Amazon lines here, or fittings here, and the lines themselves aren't leaking, it's just the fittings. So I'm gonna have to change that out eventually, but it's got to go to fab soon. So let me get it down and show you everything up top that's been done. How come every time I want to film, our detail decides they want to blow the air guns as loud as humanly possible? But anyways, so starting off with what we got done, we did end up getting the blow off out wastegates. We got the wastegates installed. We got the turbos on both sides. All the lines ran, and then we ended up getting the radiator, the cooling, all the cooling system put together. I'm getting ready to fill it up and go ahead and make sure that we don't have any leaks. I did end up getting a new battery put in the car because my old one clapped out with the whole process of doing all of this. I may need a new alternator too. I think I might got some funny electrical stuff going on there. Like you saw in the last video, we got the wiring harness ran all the way down there. I did have to modify this for that. So overall wise, we got all that done. The only things we really have left are the fuel injectors, the FIC 1000s, the booster pump, tuning, and fabrication. As you can see, the intercooler and all the piping is sitting down here. I'm actually sending this to a shop to get custom fab done. So we're gonna do custom hood dumps that come up and out to the middle of the hood on both sides, of course, with the wastegate stumping. And then through the front here, you can see there's not a lot of room. No longer running AC on this car. So we're compromising there so that I can run the big intercooler in the front of the car that's going to snake through and run around right to here. So that's the next step, is sending this car off to fabrication. And with that being said, I'm technically, actually at the time I'm sending this car off, today is the first day that they were supposed to call and let me know that it is ready to get shipped off the fab. So within the next coming 4 to 5 days, the car should be going to fabrication soon. So that means that it is getting ready to be a boosted twin turbo Coyote. And then as you can see right here, We got some skinnies. We got some Ford Star D5s going on the car. I used to have F14s. We're going down. So we're going to a 17x5 in the front to clear the front Brembos. And then in the rear, we're going 15x10 in the rear to a thicker one. I don't have the rears yet, but once those come in, it'll look insane on this car. This thing is really starting to wrap up and come together. I'm gonna go through Lund Racing with the tune because I do have the LRX, so I've already messaged them, and I'm starting to get everything straightened out for a base map on this car. So hopefully within the next 2 to 3 weeks, this car will be running and driving twin turboed and boosted, and data logging for some tunes. So overall, guys, that's pretty much going to be it for today's video. Part 2 of installing the twin turbo kit. The next part is going to be sending the car to the fab shop to get all the fabrication stuff done. And once all that's done, then it's going to be data logging and more stuff. So it's going to be continuing. But anyways, that's going to be it for today's part. I thank you so much for clicking on the video and watching it the whole way through. I hope you did like the video, and if you did, like and subscribe to the channel. Hope you all have a great rest of y'all's day. Peace out, and I'll see you next time.